Our next guest is an actor who has appeared in numerous films and television shows, including The Chosen and Ugly Betty. Stelio Savante is here today to talk about his latest project that you just saw, which looks amazing, Hazel's Heart. As we just saw in the trailer, tells a true story of a teen girl named Hazel who fought to save her siblings during a whiteout blizzard in North Dakota in 1920. Stelio, first of all, thank you so much for being with us today. This looks amazing.
Thank you, gentlemen, for having me, and forgive me if my answers make no sense. I am very jet lagged from filming in Brazil for the last 8 weeks, where I was
Oh,
very pleased to see how hard the Catholic Church worked in the community to raise money to actually build the Christ the Redeemer statue, which I went and visited. It's magnificent.
well, you talk about jet lag. Did you see the beginning of the show with Kevin and I?
Actually, no, I don't even know who I'm speaking with right now. No, I did. I did.
Well, tell us about your character in the play, in the film. I mean,
Absolutely. So William Minor has come from a very difficult life and background. He's blue collar at a time right after the turn of the century where there was adversity and struggle in the form of what many immigrants had faced moving to that part of the country, mostly because of the weather and the tough terrain. He had not been successful in his community as a miner, as a farmer, and ultimately he has to make some decisions that are going to have very severe consequences one way or the other, realizing that perhaps his instincts often got the better of him, but having to come through at the last moment. And he's not necessarily a character that leans into faith, which is where faith speaks so loudly through the actions of his daughter, Hazel Minor.
So had you heard of the story before you auditioned for the film? And if not, what was it that moved you to be a part of it?
That's a great question, Bishop. I had not. In fact, this was the third or fourth story in a row that found me. They were actually direct offers. I did not have to audition for them. And the common thread among all of these films were the perspectives of what I would call being akin to David and Goliath stories, child or teenage characters, the film being told completely from their point of view, having to see what they faced, overcoming those obstacles and adversities, if you will, through their faith, but done in a very artistically integrous manner. This isn't some cheesy pamphlet, because over the years, Christian films have done in my humble opinion, not a very good job of actually making films. They're more like pamphlets. This is a real story. It doesn't apologize for what it is. I was so incredibly moved and wanted to play some sort of role, figuratively and literally, to honor this child's story and to honor her faith. And Daniel is a brilliant filmmaker. I think the film speaks for itself, and I was delighted to be able to join the cast and then come on as producer on the back end of it to drive us through distribution. We were very impressed with what was a fairly competitive bidding situation in how many distributors had interest in it, and Samuel Goldwyn is the one that we decided to partner with.
It's great.
I'm a dad of three kids, so for me, this is very moving. As you prepared for your role, how did you get into that headspace of a father whose three children are missing? Because I know personally that would be devastating and heartbreaking for me.
It's a complex answer because that's kind of on the surface, and I will preface it by saying I am a father as well. The reason it's more complex is that my character, William Minor, has a lot to do with the reason that his child is missing to begin with. There were certain pivotal uh, triggers in the storyline, specifically after the inciting incident, that William makes bad choices in allowing his children to go out in the threat of a storm to begin with. Then, after that, not making a quick enough decision to reach out to the community. And personally, it's devastating because he's operating through a compass of guilt and wanting to redeem. That's not necessarily the best place to come from. But the goodness of God through all of us does give us the opportunity to redeem ourselves. And I think that's where the story will find itself, because you invest yourself in the characters as audience, and it allows you to feel for all three children, not just Hazel, and of course for the mother, for Blanche, my wife, the character of my wife.
You know, the film is obviously the real deal. I mean, I'm freezing cold just watching it. The realism is unbelievable. It's true. I'm always cold anyway.
We're from Boston. It's cold up
That's
here.
true. It's cold today. But back to the movie. We don't want to spoil the ending, but if you were to have dinner with Hazel, if that would be possible, what question would you ask her?
I would want to ask her the effect of her father's decisions and being the so-called leader of his family, how much they factored into what she did when she put her life on the line, and the consequences of her father's behavior in her life, putting myself in her shoes and understanding how she did what she did, and what were the reasons. We know there were reasons of faith, but to me it's far more specific than that, because the decisions our parents make in our youth live with us forever. They change the way we see life.
Boy, that makes me want to see the movie even more.
I can't wait. When and how can people watch Hazel's Heart?
Thank you both for that. It starts on digital, so it will be available on all digital platforms starting on December 23rd. It will go through what we call the transactional first window. It will then be licensed on a platform that's already been committed that I can't speak about yet, but starting December 23rd, it will be available on all digital platforms. So whether you have DirecTV, Dish, Roku, Apple TV, anywhere you could basically rent or buy the film in the form of a click digitally, it will be everywhere.
What were you working on in Brazil, by the way? Just curious, can you say?
I can tell you that it was a true life political thriller. It's my fourth film with Jim Caviezel, somebody you've definitely never heard of because he did not play Jesus. And ironically, in 2018, I was filming another political thriller with him called Infidel that we shot in the Middle East. And I got to spend Christmas with my family, midnight mass at the Church of Nativity in Bethlehem on Christmas Eve.
Nice.
Yep.
So every time I work with Jim, we seem to be in areas where it's either Christ the Redeemer or literally where Christ was baptized.
Interesting.
But yeah, I can't say much more than that. But it was a fascinating 8 weeks in Sao Paulo. We went to go visit Rio. Tremendous time and project. Actually, another true life story.
Well, Stelio, next time you're in Boston, you'll have to visit us. Maybe play some pickleball. I challenge you.
I appreciate that. A lot will depend on the record of the Patriots and the Commanders, but I will take you up on that. Thank you.
So glad to have you. Hazel's Heart, it looks wonderful. I'm going to sit with my family on the 23rd and watch it. I am going to watch it with my family.
Thank you all. Thank you, Bishop. Thank you for having me. You guys have a blessed Christmas now.
Yeah, same
Thank
to
you.
you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
God bless.